fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The scent of ozone and old paper fills my lungs, a strange comfort after the void. I inhale the metallic tang of static, the faint musk of vellum that has not seen sunlight in centuries, and I feel the world settle around me like a warm blanket. One moment I hear the screech of metal, sharp, like a blade being drawn from a sheath, and the next I stand in a library that stretches beyond sight, endless aisles of towering shelves that disappear into a violet haze. The shelves are lined with books bound in starlight, their covers shimmering with constellations that pulse softly, as if breathing. Whispers of forgotten gods drift between the aisles, low murmurs that curl around my ears and settle in the hollows of my mind. I turn my head and there he is, an angel, his wings tattered yet radiating raw power, each feather a scar of battles fought in realms I cannot name. Light fractures across his form, casting prisms that dance across the marble floor. His gaze is a brand seared onto my skin, a heat that spreads from my cheekbones down to the tips of my fingers. He does not speak at first, his presence alone is a thunderclap in my chest. Beside him stands a scholar, his ink-stained fingers curled around a tome that seems to pulse with its own heartbeat. Storm-gray eyes, deep as a gathering tempest, lock onto the line of my throat. He wears a coat of midnight velvet, embroidered with sigils that glow faintly when he moves. A shiver of anticipation ripples across my flesh, a tremor that feels both warning and invitation. His thumb brushes my lips in a slow, deliberate caress, the pressure gentle yet commanding. The contact sends a spark of electricity through my nerves, and I feel my breath catch, a soft gasp that I cannot hide. "Welcome, Lyra," the angel's voice rumbles, vibrating deep within me, reverberating through my bones. It is a sound that feels like the echo of a cathedral bell, ancient and unyielding. The scholar's hand settles possessively on my hip, his fingers warm against the cool marble. "You were always meant to be found," he murmurs, his tone low, almost reverent. A heat blooms between my thighs, a traitorous response to their combined attention, and I can feel the blush spreading like sunrise across my skin. My throat goes dry, the words catching like sand in a throat. "Found by whom?" I ask, my voice barely more than a whisper, yet it carries the weight of centuries of longing. The scholar's gaze darkens, shadows flickering across his irises. "By those who have waited centuries for you." He leans closer, his warm breath fanning my ear, the scent of old parchment and faint incense mingling with the ozone. "Those who will claim you as their own." My mind races, images flashing like a broken film reel, ancient battles, shattered crowns, a throne of moonstone, a promise whispered in a language I cannot recall. I feel the pull of destiny, a thread tugging at the very core of my being. I glance at the angel, his wings still trembling, the light around him dimming and flaring like a dying star. "What do you want from me?" I ask, my voice steadier now, the tremor fading as I find a sliver of resolve. The angel steps forward, his boots echoing against the stone, each step resonating with a low hum. "We seek the key," he says, his tone solemn, "the artifact that can seal the rift between worlds. It lies hidden within these walls, bound to a soul that bears the mark of the celestial and the mortal. You, Lyra, are that soul." A cold dread settles in my gut, but beneath it, a fierce curiosity burns. I have always felt out of place, as if the world around me were a story I was meant to rewrite. Now, the pages are turning themselves, and I am both reader and author. The scholar lifts his tome, the pages fluttering as if caught in an unseen wind. Symbols cascade across the parchment, forming a map of the library's hidden chambers. "The key is not a thing, but a convergence," he explains, his voice a soft chant. "It is the moment when the celestial aligns with the mortal, when love becomes a weapon against the void." I feel a sudden rush of images, my childhood in a village by the sea, the night the sky split open with a cascade of shooting stars, the moment I first heard the call of the wind that seemed to speak my name. I remember the first time I felt the pull of magic, the way the world shimmered at the edge of my fingertips. "If I am the convergence," I whisper, "then what must I do?" The angel lifts his hand, and a beam of light slices through the darkness, illuminating a doorway at the far end of the aisle. The doorway is framed by arches of living crystal, each facet catching the starlight and refracting it into a kaleidoscope of colors. Beyond it, a chamber glows with a soft amber hue, the air humming with a low, resonant tone. "Step through," the scholar commands, his grip firm yet gentle. "There you will find the heart of the library, the source of its memory. It will reveal what you must become." I take a breath, feeling the weight of centuries settle on my shoulders, and step forward. The crystal arches sing as I pass, each note a reminder of the countless souls that have walked these halls before me. The chamber opens like a womb, walls lined with shelves that seem to pulse with life. In the center, a pedestal of obsidian holds a crystal orb that glows with an inner fire, its surface swirling with images of worlds beyond. I approach the orb, my heart beating in time with its rhythm. As I draw near, the orb's light intensifies, and a voice, soft, ancient, and familiar, whispers in my mind. Lyra, it says, you are the bridge between the heavens and the earth. Your love, your courage, will seal the rift, but you must choose whom to bind your heart to, for the key is forged by the union of two souls willing to sacrifice all. The angel steps beside me, his eyes alight with a fierce protectiveness. I have watched over this realm since the first sunrise. My wings have carried the weight of countless wars. I offer you my strength, my eternity. The scholar places a hand over his own heart, the ink on his fingers smudging as if the very act of speaking has made his blood rise to the surface. I have spent lifetimes deciphering the language of the stars. My love is a quiet fire, steady and unyielding. Let me be the anchor to your storm. I close my eyes, feeling the pulse of the orb sync with my own. Images flood my mind, my mother's lullaby, the taste of sea salt on my lips, the first time I felt the wind lift my hair and whisper promises of adventure. I realize that love is not a single flame but a constellation of moments, each one a star that guides me. When I open my eyes, the orb shatters into a cascade of light, scattering across the chamber like a meteor shower. The shards settle on the floor, each one humming with a different tone. The rift that had threatened to swallow the world begins to close, the darkness receding like a tide pulled back by the moon. The angel spreads his wings, the tattered feathers catching the light of the falling shards. He looks at me, his gaze softening. You have chosen, Lyra. Together we will mend what was broken. The scholar steps forward, his hand reaching for mine. His touch is warm, grounding, and I feel a surge of confidence flow through me. Our love will be the seal, he says, his voice steady. It will bind the worlds and protect them for eternity. I take his hand, feeling the ink-stained skin against my own. The scholar's thumb brushes the back of my hand, a gentle reassurance. The angel places his other hand over our joined fingers, his power humming through us like a chord struck on a celestial harp. In that moment, the library seems to breathe with us. The shelves sway, the books whisper their gratitude, and the very air vibrates with a song of renewal. I feel my own magic awaken, a warm glow spreading from my chest outward, intertwining with the angel's radiant energy and the scholar's steady, earthy force. The rift snaps shut with a final, resonant crack, and the darkness that had loomed beyond the library dissolves into nothingness. Light floods the chamber, bathing us in a golden hue that feels like sunrise after a long night. When the light fades, we stand together in the quiet aftermath. The angel's wings, once tattered, now gleam with renewed vigor, each feather catching the light like a prism. The scholar's coat shimmers with a faint sigil that pulses in rhythm with my heartbeat. We have done it, the angel says, his voice softer now, a smile playing on his lips. We have become more than we ever imagined, the scholar adds, his eyes reflecting the stars that now fill the vaulted ceiling. I look at the two of them, feeling a love that is both fierce and tender, a bond forged in the fire of destiny and the quiet of shared purpose. My throat, once dry, now hums with a new song, a melody of hope, of unity, of a future written not in prophecy but in the choices we make. What now? I ask, my voice steady, the weight of the world no longer a burden but a promise. The angel spreads his wings fully, the light spilling outward like a sunrise. We will guard this place, protect the knowledge within, and ensure that no darkness ever threatens again. The scholar nods, his hand still clasped in mine, and we will write new stories, Lyra, stories of love, of courage, of the endless possibilities that lie beyond the pages. I smile, feeling the heat between my thighs settle into a steady, comforting warmth. The library, once a maze of endless aisles, now feels like a home, a sanctuary where the past and future converge. Then let us begin, I say, my voice ringing with certainty. Let us fill these shelves with our own legend. Together we walk down the endless rows, the scent of ozone and old paper guiding us forward, each step echoing the promise of a love that can seal rifts, heal wounds, and write a new destiny for all who dare to dream.